I think I've seen plenty of ads now. I mean, I won't play Atlas Earth. Of course, I see a ton of ads. And one of the most common Google ads I get, and this is probably because I do a lot of beer money stuff, is this advertisement of, hey, you can get paid to play your favorite games. You can play all these games on your phone for free, and we will pay you to play them. And I know a lot of people enjoy, and there are some that do actually enjoy these games, genuinely, they do. But for most people, I notice that it really gets tiring, especially with the way of how they pay you. And everyone seems to want, it's weird, like everyone seems to want that combination of, hey, I want to have fun and play games, and at the same time, I want to get paid for having fun. So that's the reason why you will see a lot of these beer money apps out there that talk about pay to play games. And then you'll have a lot of those that come out and talk about wanting a game that actually pays you. So not just like an app that has a bunch of games that you can play and then do achievements and stuff. I mean, an actual game that pays you to play it. And so far, the only one that I have seen that has actually been working has been Atlas Earth. And I have said already that Atlas Earth has a delicate, and I mean a delicate balance going right now of how they can pay their members. And just by sheer volume and popularity, they have been able to do quite well so far. But I know a lot of people have been getting antsy over the next play to earn game. There are tons of other games out there that do promise pay to play, but they don't involve the exact same thing. Like the reason why I call Atlas Earth a one of one is because it is the only game that is paying its players right now primarily using marketing and advertising. They are doing extremely well at that, and it is very difficult for anyone else to get on that market. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised how Atlas Earth has even managed to do it, at least for this long, anyway. There are lots of other apps out there that have the pay to play option, and I'll probably talk about this too. I have a video essay coming up that will talk more about this, but a lot of these apps talk about wanting some similar results from Atlas Earth, and some use crypto, and they go off of their whales and build off of their whales, and hopefully just hoping that the coin goes up enough that a lot of people will profit off of it before it immediately crashes down to earth. This is what happened during the Web3 stuff in 2021, and everyone is just scrambling to find something that another play to earn game to play, because yeah, people like the concept, and I get it. Everyone's scrambling to find that next best play to earn game because, again, as I said, people like playing games and money, and it's best of both worlds. I'm going to give you a little bit of a reality check today. If you think that a company out of the goodness of their hearts is going to pay you to play their game, you're a sucker. They're not doing it for free. Said every single app, every single play to earn app has to base their money. They have to get their revenue from somewhere. You remember back in the day, you would hear the phrase, if you are getting something for free, you are the product. Well, what do you think you are when you're getting paid to do something? You do realize that the vast majority of successful play to earn games run on marketing and ad revenue. And you probably noticed this too with all the other apps. Those that have run on crypto apps have not been doing very well. Those that have been running on crypto coins have not been doing very well. And honestly, it's kind of the way the modern economy has been. Like, we want everything for free. We expect everything for free, but we don't know where that money's coming from. And because wages haven't caught up with inflation for decades, people are constantly trying to find extra ways to make money. So I almost kind of understand that. So that's why everything is monetized now. It's kind of funny because I actually just recently got into a hobby called backgammon, and I'm very well aware I'm not going to make much money off of it. I am planning on doing about as well as I can, but I know that even if I am a world-class player, I will not ever make money off of it. I will not ever really profit off of it. I guess I could probably like gamble or something, play money games, but I will not ever profit off of backgammon. And it's funny because back in the 90s and 2000s, hobbies were supposed to be that. It's something that you use with your money to have a little bit of fun time with, something that you kind of enjoy. Today, we almost feel like it's a requirement to monetize our hobbies, and apparently that includes playing games. And it just kind of bugs me, really, thinking about how everything today is about money. Like, I get that, money is an important part, and money was an important part back then too, when I was a kid and when I was in college, but not to a point that it takes priority over basically everything that we do. And it directs not just our work lives. I mean, it was bad enough that it directs our work lives and the work that we do, but it also directs every part of our lives, including our lifestyles. And it sucks because I know a lot of people don't have money now. A lot of people are poor. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. I think we're at a record percentage of people living paycheck to paycheck. So I'm not complaining about the people that are doing this today. I'm complaining about the society that we live in that is forcing us into things like this and still somehow trying to make things harder. I'm just, I don't know. If you ask my opinion, though, I wish that play to earn games didn't exist. I understand the purpose of them. And by the way, I used to be one of those people too, like 4 years ago when I first started this channel, that I very much was of the feeling like, oh, I too wanted to be someone that I liked playing games, I liked making money for it, but I wanted the best of both worlds. And now here I am a few years later telling you I don't like that either. Yeah, I absolutely like what Atlas Earth is doing. Atlas Earth, I feel like, is doing it probably the most right out of any other play to earn game out there. And that's the reason why they're the number one play to earn app out there right now. And it's not even close. But the two problems with that is one, that we even have a market like this in the first place for Atlas Earth to be as big as it is, for play to earn games to be as popular as they are, because we don't have money now. Like 80 to 85% of us are basically struggling. We're either living paycheck to paycheck or we're just struggling to make ends meet just in general, and it sucks. And the second thing too is because it exposes us to a lot more ads. And for those people who watch a lot of ads, they're going, there's some people who can control themselves and eventually desensitize themselves to ads. I'm one of those people. But there are some people out there that will eventually give in to some of these ads and will eventually buy something. And I think they realize that, like, it's a part of sales. Part of sales of, like, if someone sees your product 7 times, they are mostly, they're more likely to be convinced to buy your product than if they saw it just once. So that's why they're trying to get more ads out there and get people to spend more. And when people spend more, the economies might be better, but people are struggling to still make ends meet, and you get more and more people living paycheck to paycheck. And that's a big reason why I feel like the economy is the way that we are today, is because we are struggling to not just like make money. We struggle to save money because we have so much shit that we see, so many options out there, and people want to just buy it all. And you see the result today, right? We have an economy that's doing awesome, an economy that is increasingly catering to a more and more elite class, while the rest of us get left in the dust, and trying to play catch up and keeping up with the Joneses becomes more of a problem than ever before. Now, I'm not saying like completely abolish play to earn games. I get the appeal of them, and I am very much wanting to say, if continue to play if you enjoy it, because there are some people that actually genuinely enjoy these play to earn games. But I made the decision I'd say about a year and a half ago. Yeah, about a year and a half ago. I almost said a couple years ago, but a year and a half ago, where I would stop putting so much emphasis into my life on these games that pay me money. Like I threw away because I realized it wasn't the best of both worlds you were getting. The games that you were getting paid to play were basically ad farms, especially the achievement ones, by the way. And they kept getting tougher and tougher. Like there is only one game that if it pops up, I will still play because I know what to do and how to get the maximum amount of profit out of it if I see it show up on free cash or swag bucks or anything else, and that is Raid Shadow Legends. It is actually the easiest one to do, at least the easiest one for the most money anyway. And then those play to earn games, the amount of money that you make, I want you guys to realize this. The amount of money that you make, it is basically wage slavery. All right. The dollar per hour that you're making is so pathetic. Like, it's almost not even worth it at times. Because I did walking away from that and actually going back to playing games that I enjoy. And you have no idea how much better that was on my psyche. Like, genuinely, how much better it was. And that's also a big reason why when I wanted to pivot and I pivoted back into talking a little bit more about beer money, I am prioritizing, and I'll be talking about this too, when I do this next thing I'm planning to do, I don't want to really promote apps anymore that primarily push people to play games and get paid for them. Because I'm now realizing that things are best when kept separate. You don't get the best of both worlds. You get technically the worst of both worlds, all right? You get the worst parts of gaming, which have all become microtransactions, being forced to take purchases in order to get a chance to make profit, which is just basically, another way of gambling. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I don't. All right. So if I'm going back to beer money, that's one part that is now done. That is now gone. And I'm actually going to start, and I have started doing this too on my other channel. Well, I don't know which channel I'm going to put this on, honestly. But I've decided that I'm going to remove free cash for that reason, because that's what free cash is doing. I want to get back to having fun for the sake of having fun. And life is so much easier when I just spend 2 hours a night playing Pal World, or, spending time right now, my stepkid playing Roblox. We're playing this one Sell Lemons game, basically. We're in a competition right now over that. I'll talk a little bit more about that if you want to hear about it, but I'm not going to talk about it here. Like I said, I'm starting stuff with backgammon. That's my competitive itch right now. At least, and I know I'm going to be having to spend, at least starting out until I get the house paid off, just, a few $100s a year on stuff, and I'm not going to make profit out of it. I'm not going to make money. Oh my God. But I enjoy it infinitely better than spending hours at a time on Idle Bank Tycoon or some match 3 game and trying to get 6,000 levels on it just for the chance to make a few $100. Not even a few $100. I think there was one that was like free cash was like $100 something, but you get what I mean, right? I feel like with play to earn games in general, I know it's a byproduct of the world that we're in. They're all just ad farms for the most part, or they're beta testing farms because they don't want to pay a real tester. Whatever. I would say avoid most of them. I'm still going to rate them fairly, don't get me wrong. If they're paying well and they pay well for tasks that are achievable, I will still rate them fairly on my channel. But if you want my honest opinion now, as I've gotten older and knowing that how different it is, how much I'm worried more about time than anything else, especially as I'm turning 40 in a month, use your time wisely. And not everything has to be about money. And this is coming from a guy that has a channel that's all about making money. So, all right, everyone. I needed to vent here, so I'm gonna go put this up somewhere. I'm gonna talk with my moderators, see which channel it deserves to go on. I'll see you around. All right, Pharaoh Silver signing off. Bye, everybody.